It is a city in southwest Minnesota focused on its future, but Marshall has a connection to its past unlike any other place in the state. What year were you born?
1899.
Do the math, and that makes Ruth Anderson 112 years young, having lived in 3 centuries. She is the oldest Minnesotan with a razor-sharp memory.
What's this?
A confirmation picture.
It's a pretty fancy dress.
Yeah, they don't dress like that now.
Ruth is also the 37th oldest person in the world, along with the oldest surviving twin. Her brother Abel died when he was just 1.
And there's our whole family.
There's your family.
Yeah, that's my dad back there. And that's Fred and Harold, Edith, and Emil, and my mother.
You show her something and she'll start talking about it.
Pretty fun to hear those stories.
Yes. Yeah. It's part of history.
William McKinley was president when Ruth was born. She grew up on a farm near Ballatin, speaking Swedish with her big family.
At school that we went to.
She walked a mile across farm fields to and from her one-room schoolhouse where she learned English.
There's some of your horses.
Ruth would also spend hours with a sketch pad and chalk, her drawings now a century old. But soon the world's troubles would catch up, even to rural Minnesota. What do you remember about that time?
Well, I remember it was kind of scary when it started. I guess I had a brother that was in that age, but he wasn't. He has asthma, so I guess he was excused for that.
The roaring 20s were happening in the big cities when a new kind of woman was born that smoked, drank, and danced. It was all about celebrating prosperity. It's when Ruth's family got their first car.
Yeah, the Overland was a big car. The Ford was a little bit smaller.
But a new decade put it all to a sudden stop.
I know we were kind of scared when it came on, but I don't know, it didn't seem like it affected us a lot out there.
Farm life kept Ruth and her family protected for the most part from the Great Depression in the 30s. Ruth found her love long ago of growing her own.
And this was out in our flower garden, and that was dahlias.
Her family would rely on the food grown on the farm to get them through. And they relied on the radio for updates.
We shall now broadcast the election results.
She never went to high school, but went to secretarial school in Mankato before moving to Minneapolis for 6 years.
When I lived out by the lake, I had to take a streetcar to downtown.
Ruth would say goodbye to city life when the health of her parents called her back to the farm.
She's always been a caregiver of her father when he was ill and her mother when she was ill. She took care of them till they died.
As years passed, Ruth would also care for many nieces and nephews, taking them in and raising them as her own. A little girl named Helen would steal her heart.
She was my sister's girl, and when my sister died, she told me once, "I hope you don't die."
She went on to be Miss Sioux Falls and Miss South Dakota and a runner-up in the Miss USA pageant. And she stems her roots back to Ruth.
She didn't marry until she was 60. When her sister passed away, Ruth married her husband and took in all 4 of her boys.
My husband, Dan, was a naughty little 7th grader at the time that they got married. I guess is the best way to put it, because he could not understand his dad remarrying his older aunt. But it didn't take long for Ruth to win him over.
Life at home has always been important. Family, the reason for Ruth's rock-solid foundation.
I can't keep track of all these new babies that are being born, so I had to add it up, and we come up with 41 great-grandchildren. There are 17 grandchildren and 41 great-grandchildren.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Ruth and George were married for more than 4 decades, and she didn't move into a nursing home until she was 107.
I think the most important thing you can say about Ruth is that she never complains. She doesn't say anything against anybody. And they feel her positive attitude is one of her reasons for longevity.
If we would ask anything negative of her, she would say, "Oh, I don't remember that."
Ruth keeps her mind sharp by playing her favorite game, Scrabble. She didn't even start playing until her 80s. I just do the simple. I soon learned myself why Parker Brothers named her a master of the game.
That's a double word. Count it up.
3, 4, 8, 9, 10. That's a double word.
She's pretty good at the game.
Yes, she is. Yeah, and she knows where to find all the big scores, and if you've got a letter like a Q or a Z or something like that, to find a spot that you're going to get a triple letter or a triple word, so she gets a good score on it.
She's become a bit of a celebrity in Minnesota and around the world.
Many times receive letters in the mail saying, "Can I have Ruth's autograph?" One recently came from Pennsylvania. Another person had heard about her and said, "Can I have her autograph? Would you send it to me? I collect autographs of super centenarians."
But if you ask Ruth, this whole age thing isn't a big deal at all. What do you think your secret's been why you've lived so long?
I don't have any special secrets.
And as she approaches yet another milestone this summer,
We've been giving her a hard time about being a teenager all over again.
she remains thankful for what has always given her joy, her faith, artwork, and of course, family.
I know when our grandkids come home, they always want to see go see great grandma.
Keep pushing it.
Take it from a lady who gives new meaning to seeing it all on what really matters in life. I hear you're going to be a teenager?
Yeah.
For more information on Life to the Max, go to our website at lifetothemax.tv.